Tonight I wanna see the bright lights over me. Show me something magical. Show me everything I want and more. The best of the good life.
This weekend on Top Billing, international runway careers take off for the winners of Top Model SA. Artists Richard Mudariki and Patrick Bongoy star at Africa's biggest international art fair. Entrepreneurs Tumelo and Celeste Matsose launch a hit restaurant and encourage young professionals to invest in racehorses. Relebogile Lelala goes all out at her Hyde Park wedding to Madoda Hlophe. Samsung celebrate the launch of their Next Generation Galaxy S10. And your host tonight is the sexiest man of 2019 winner, Fez Mkhize, from a home no contractors would build, so Greg and Trisha Francois managed the construction themselves.
Good evening and a very warm welcome to Top Billing. Take in Fashion Week at London, New York, Paris or Milan, and South African models are bound to feature. So, at the grand finale of Top Model South Africa, everyone knew the stakes were infinite for whoever would walk away with that title.
Known as TMSA, this is the biggest platform for new models to be discovered in South Africa. The winners receive management contracts at top model agencies, an editorial spread with a leading international magazine, and a portfolio by top photographers. It's the brainchild of Suzette Marais.
Suzette, as the founder of Top Model South Africa, what inspired you to bring the competition here?
We have so much amazing talent in South Africa, and I believe in the youth, and we give them a huge platform in South Africa and internationally as well. We have a lot of agencies involved, which is amazing for them, you know, so they set off and fly all over the world.
This year you've added a few more categories.
We have the beautiful fresh face, that's for the shorter girls, also beautiful, something different. We have the runway girls, the taller girls and guys, and this year we have the body of the year as well. So it's amazing to see all the talent in the different categories.
For any model entering this competition, it's highly beneficial because even if you don't win or come second, you could get scouted. So it's a good platform, I would say, for models to be here.
Entries are open to anyone, and professional scouts travel the country to find that special undiscovered talent. James Emmanuel gave us an idea of how big an opportunity it is for South African models.
James, as the professional model scout for this competition, what are you looking for in this year's winner?
Truly South African, unique, with a top personality, the it factor, and just somebody that can represent the brand very, very well, worldwide as well. FanJam is closely associated with Top Model brand. We've been involved with the last 3-year competitions with huge successes. Last year's winner, Melissa Majeria, has had great success through the agency, and we're very proudly South African. We are the first agency to have a Vogue cover ever in 50 years, and you'll see that we are putting all the South African people on the international stage. We as an agency have 46 girls traveling in the high-end market in June and July of this year.
2018 winner Melissa Majeria was here to encourage every contestant and to counsel them on what to expect, whether they take the title or not.
Melissa, why is this such a great platform to kickstart your career, and how's it impacted yours?
Top Model has opened so many doors for me, like from the get-go. They had workshops that first explained to you like the basics of modeling and the industry and things like that. I then went to London for Top Model UK, where I came third worldwide. So Top Model has definitely been such a major platform for me, and I hope that this year's winner does the exact same.
Reality TV star, model and businessman Lee Thompson was among the judges, well versed in what the industry is after.
There are over 100 contestants. How do you choose a winner?
I'll be looking for someone who accentuates confidence, someone who has strong natural features, someone who stands out in their own unique way.
It's about personality and that it factor, that bubbly thing. So I'll be looking out for that tonight, that someone just setting the stage alight. So I'm very excited.
5 proudly South African designers created a range of collections to offer each model the chance to show the fashion industry their look, walk, and standout personal quality.
How should models conduct themselves on stage?
Top Model South Africa is way different than a pageant, so they really need to think about the clothing that they're showing. So that's very important to know the business aspect of it and to make sure that they really showcase the garments that the designers put together.
With contestants from every corner of the land, some having been scouted for the first time, there was a supportive atmosphere along with a healthy competitive spirit.
I'm backstage with all the models. Guys, are you having fun? Yes! How does it feel to be up there on stage?
It feels so amazing. I'm so happy. Thank you, Top Model.
This is your first time being on the runway, which I imagine is quite nerve-wracking. What does it mean to you?
It means so much because it means that I have conquered my fears. So for me to be here today, I have opened another door in my life, and it's so very much exciting. I don't want to lie.
What are you most excited for to be a part of this?
Everything, the exposure, being part of something big. It feels so good, like I've been working with amazing people. And the photos are great too, so I love everything.
I'm looking forward to seeing those. And for you?
For me, I was working with awesome photographers. Mr. Ted Eugene Bowles was very supportive, telling us, guys, we're going to make it, we have to be positive. So it actually helped out in our confidence.
There are so many subcategories in which a model can make a career that awarding Body Beautiful winners was applauded by an industry ever in need of new looks. One of the night's most popular winners, Mia Lowe, put these categories into perspective.
Mia, congratulations on winning Fresh Face, which is actually my personal favorite category because it's such a special one.
Yes, definitely. There's so many beautiful women here, and it's quite an honor to be the face of the beautiful Fresh Face. It really touches on different women that don't fit into the model stereotypes, height, weight, all the different aspects to modeling, and having a beautiful Fresh Face is fantastic because it gives everybody an opportunity to be part of the modeling world, the modeling industry.
In the title competition, Michael Benevolent and Bianca Mbambaso were crowd favorites.
Our runners-up, you two are gorgeous. How does it feel?
It feels amazing. It feels exciting more than anything. We're just looking forward to what's to come next.
It feels amazing, literally the best thing ever. I'm happy.
This outfit is such a hit. What do you love about it?
I like the fact that it's comfortable and it shows my legs off, which is like, one of my best assets.
The winners are so often a surprise because the beauty and fashion industry changes so much and so quickly. John T. Nelson and Clara Lubba had no idea they were it until the moment they were called. But the judges were in no doubt.
Congratulations, you are this year's winners for Top Model 2019. What made you decide to enter?
It has always been my dream to model on a runway, and I knew about this competition a while ago, but I was too young to enter. I turned 16 last year, and the age limit is you have to be 16 and older. This is my first time doing this, so it was really exciting and honestly an unbelievable experience.
How did it feel when your names were called out?
It felt unreal when they called my name out as the winner. I was so surprised and I'm lost for words.
I didn't actually expect to win, so I only found out that I won when everyone turned around and looked at me and started clapping. So I was like, oh, okay, let me start walking. And then I just broke down in tears. I couldn't believe it. It was an amazing experience.
Laverne, the winners have just been announced. What do you think of them? Why do they represent the brand so well?
Well, it was a very tough decision, but I think we're all quite happy with the winners. The fresh face, and they've just got these relatable features, and I'm sure they'll do very well in the industry.
Where past years saw only 2 winners, smart thinking has turned Top Model SA into a launchpad for up to 8 new careers.
Another South African stunner begins what is sure to be a sizzling international career. We've got a feel for women from other countries trying to compete.
Coming up, the most exciting African painters and artists gather for the Cape Town Art Fair.
They call it the Cape Town Art Fair, but this festival of African creativity speaks for all artists on our great continent. Case in point, Zimbabwean painter Richard Mudariki and Congolese sculptor Patrick Bongoy.
With his trademark bright color and sense of theater, Richard is known for taking classic works by the old masters of European art and reimagining them with his own cast of characters. A comment on politics and daily life, his paintings are smart, funny opinion pieces in images rather than words.
I love your space. What are you working on at the moment?
I'm working on my next project, which is a solo show in New York. And this painting is going to be one of the work that are going to be shown in May in New York. I'm very excited about it.
You're originally from Zimbabwe, but now you're living in Cape Town as a professional visual artist. Where did your passion for art come from, and when did you decide to make a career out of it?
Well, I started from a very young age, being encouraged from when I was very young to draw like a little any 4 or 6-year-old. But then I really started taking it serious, I think in 1998, when I started inquiring on how I could actually become an artist. And back in Zimbabwe, I had gone to the National Gallery of Zimbabwe, to the National Arts Council, and then eventually went to the Gallery Delta, which is a commercial gallery in Harare. And they were having private lessons for people who wanted to study art. And they were fortunate enough to take me in. And for the next 17 years, I was a student at Gallery Delta. So I consider that as one of the best art education I could ever receive.
This is a painter who understands that if art is to get a message across, it helps if the work entertains people.
Your paintings are known for their social commentary. What issues do you focus on?
Well, for me, I kind of feel it's my responsibility to document the society and the times that we live in. I think provide another view of how the society we live in currently can be viewed in a more creative way. So from political ideologies to social pressures, I try to visualize and portray that in my work.
Popular with a wide range of art buyers, Richard's paintings fetch extraordinary prices too.
I can't help but notice there's quite a large check that you've cashed for yourself over there.
Well, this is a check I received after selling a painting in Zimbabwe in 2008 at the National Gallery of Zimbabwe. And this was a time of hyperinflation in my country and had sold most probably one of the highest paid painting in Africa for 487 million Zimbabwe dollars. And it's a proud check that I keep in my studio all the time, and hopefully I'll sell painting at that price in future.
Sure, I'm just keen to cash this.
Being such a hub of art and design, Cape Town has been the ideal platform for Richard to reach buyers from around the world while staying rooted in Africa. He showed us one of the newer galleries where he exhibits.
So this is another medium that I work on apart from my paintings, and it's a printmaking process called monotype. We use glass and ink to create these marks. This one in particular is called The Head, Musoro, and I think the theme around this was also about the black consciousness and all the things that were happening in 2016 in America, and I decided to just have a portrait of a black male figure in the painting. So it's a way for me of also diversifying what I'm doing and experimenting with other mediums.
Your work's been exhibited in Joburg, Cape Town, New York, London and Paris. And just recently, you've been awarded residency at the Zeitz-Marke. What does this mean to you?
So I think one of the major highlights of my career was being invited to be the first artist to have an artist residency at Zeitz-Marke in Cape Town. And I think that was a fantastic opportunity for me. Having to spend time in the museum to create work that will be shown in the museum as well was really a fantastic moment for me in my career.
Art consultant Philippa Duncan works at the crossroads between collectors and artists. She's the kind of matchmaker every painter, sculptor or buyer needs.
Philippa, I absolutely love this space.
Thank
Can
you.
you tell me more about the exhibition being held here?
So it's the first exhibition I'm holding in the space, which is called Section 2, and each exhibition is going to be a chapter. So this is chapter 1, and it's ostensibly the body of work that I'm really excited about, mainly by contemporary artists, and just really focusing on work that's happening now.
What exactly do you do as an art consultant?
I partly live vicariously through my clients' art collections, but essentially what I do is I advise them on new pieces to bring into existing collections. If you're a starting collector, get an idea of what you like, what visually is exciting for you, and then taking it from there.
I can imagine you've been all over the world, but where do you think the best art comes from?
I'm completely biased. I believe that the best art is coming straight out of Africa, and the rest of the world is starting to sit up and take notice with art fairs happening internationally. But of course, what's happening on our shores as far as art fairs and museums goes is particularly exciting.
Patrick Bongoy is also a highly respected artist. He uses a painstaking layering technique to reflect the hard work women in the DRC do to make ends meet.
How would you describe your style as an artist?
Moving around many, style. I don't have like a specific style in my work. I navigate around everything. Depends on the inspiration that I have, at the moment. So I can go from a painting to a sculpture to an abstract work or, whatever. So I'm an artist. That's the bottom line.
You're originally from the DRC, and how does that translate into your work?
In this case, I'm talking about the labor that is done to kids, to children. You go to the mining, you see those kids working in this space, but it's also to do with how we allow those things to happen. So that is why in this work you will see it's not a kid's hands, it's adult hands. So in a way that we've been encouraging them to do that without even doing anything.
Using industrial packaging and textiles and inner tubes from vehicle tires, Patrick repurposes and reinterprets what others throw away.
You've exhibited all over the world, but what have been some of your most memorable?
For me, everything that I do, it's very important to me in a way that I put all the effort into it to speak out loud about where I come from. I'm kind of the ambassador of where I come from. So everything I do, it's very unique and important.
Which is why the Investec Cape Town Art Fair is the place for him to be. It has grown into the largest fair of its kind on the continent, where a fast-growing African art market and international collectors and galleries can meet. We asked Philippa to be our guide.
More and more artists are focusing on materiality in their work, and by that I mean reusing materials, reworking, revisioning, and using them in a way that often people have never considered even using the most everyday, ordinary thing. Someone who does that incredibly successfully is Ushisha Durham. She in fact won the Investec Art Prize at last year's fair, and this year she's got a couple of pieces where she's used the humble wooden clothes peg to great effect.
Finished in rubber and leather, Patrick Bongoy's arresting sculpture put the contentious issue of child labor at the center of discussion. He had brought several paintings too.
This year, I think the art fair, it's amazing to me. There's a lot of work that really has the space to interact with it. And we're referring to the past because we're learning from the past to do better in the future. So that is why this fair is really amazing to me.
As his subject, Richard Mudariki chose a theme every teenager or adult has been through.
This piece I'm exhibiting here at the Cape Town Art Fair is a recent work that I just created a few months ago. It's actually questioning when people fall out of love. And living here in Cape Town, I've seen posters where there are people which are called witch doctors that help people that fall out of love. And an idea came out for this painting. So it's based on the politics of love and relationships between two people.
Under one umbrella, the art fair promotes organizations who nurture young artists in rural or underprivileged areas. It trumpets new voices who will be masters in a year or two and shows their work next to that of famous names from across the globe.
If you've got a bare wall or an open space in search of inspiration, color and imagination without end, there's a world of African art waiting for you.
Next up, building on a steep plot, a couple work with the mountain in a deconstructed approach to home design.
Greg Francois moved to Cape Town to become a film director and met his wife Trisha here. architect Rowan Young studied in Australia, but also set up his practice in the city. Tonight's Hout Bay home reflects what a muse these fantastic landscapes are to all three of them.
When they acquired this plot to build a new home for themselves and their daughters, the Francois family knew they'd bought a challenge. But with the steep incline came opportunity. By staggering the design into a series of pavilions which tracked the fall of the mountain, they could limit how deep each platform dug into the site. This would allow every space the maximum natural surrounds and views.
Oh, wow, guys. Well, firstly, it's really good to meet you. But secondly, I must admit, climbing up that driveway was a little bit of a workout, but definitely worth these incredible views.
Well, it's funny you should say that. That driveway was the biggest stumbling block in being able to build a house at this elevation. But once we were finished, the views are absolutely spectacular.
What made you decide to raise a young family here in Hyde Bay?
I think it was very important for us to be close to the city for work and close to schools. And this plot ticked all the boxes. The proximity to shops, to schools, to the city, but at the same time being right in nature. It was just the most exquisite environment for us to choose to live. We haven't got a fence around our property. There are hiking trails all over the place. The kids can go and exploring our rock garden, end up on the mountain trail. It's a kid's paradise, and it's paradise for us as well.
Since few contractors dared attempt this build, Greg and Tricia project managed it themselves.
You two are partners in both your marriage and professional careers, and how does that help you in putting a home like this together?
I think throughout our relationship, we have had our roles defined quite naturally. Greg is more the creative and the visionary, whereas I'm more of a logistics to-do person. Through this build, you know, some people would think, oh my gosh, don't you kind of fall apart? And it's actually made us stronger. It's made our marriage stronger, our business stronger, and yeah, for that I'm eternally grateful for our roles.
Greg, you did the decor yourself. What did you want from the interior?
As the house evolved from a construction point of view, we started seeing elements of how the interiors could complement the architectural structure. So we went with a monochromatic color. We wanted to bring an African flair to it, but we wanted a very clean, practical, modern home. If you have a look, the house has very few walls. You know, the idea was to bring the views into this environment. However, I could never compete with these kind of views with any type of artwork or photograph that I put on the walls. What we did want to do was to attach a sense of personality to who we are. And it's interesting, we looked around the house this morning, and I would say most of this furniture we've collected over 15 years of being together. It's not something that we designed and went out on a shopping spree. Every single item has some value. The objects that I collected in Indonesia when I was traveling there, the paintings that I inherited or was gifted by well-known photographers have a very personal, sentimental value. They're not there to create let's say, a decor statement. They are reflections of our personalities as a family.
Greg grew up watching commercials filmed in exotic locations. As a director, he now creates similar scenes on screen, and this house is a real-life version of those perfect shots.
Oh, this room is stunning. Why was it so important to have your own separate wing?
It wasn't because we wanted to be apart from the rest of the home. The landfall is so extreme that the architect had to actually compartmentalize and build each pavilion on a separate elevation. The result is, and you will see, that we are embracing the environment. These beautiful rock formations form part of the decor. I mean, it's an inside-outside experience. I just love waking up in the mornings and seeing these rocks that have been here literally for centuries.
I mean, it's the most spectacular space and room that we could have asked for, so we're really happy with the result.
Can't help but notice there's an exceptionally inviting bathroom space over here.
Yes, I must admit that this room is definitely my favorite. I call it my sanctuary, and it really is. You know, working from home, having 2 young children, it's really a space where we can escape and just breathe, and it's an important part of this house.
There's a very unique sense of light and scale to this house. You know, these beautiful loft-style ceilings, the gables that let all the light in. You've got the spectacular backdrop of nature. I mean, what better setting to put a beautiful bath? I mean, it's like a TV commercial. If you have a look over here, there's this amazing rock outcrop with pebbles embedded into the calcification. This must have been a waterway, so there's a very nice connectivity between, let's call it a bathroom, and what possibly existed centuries ago.
Their daughters, Amber and Sienna, enjoy the freedom and independence of their own wing of the house.
Hi, Amber.
Hi, Mommy. How's it, Amber?
Hi, Ryle.
What is your favorite pastime?
I love playing board games.
Oh, that is awesome. I love the fact that you guys have kept your kids so close, but yet you've given them a separate space.
Yes, it was important for us to, whilst we were designing the house, to make sure that they had their own space, simply because they're not going to be little girls forever. The teenage years are coming and we wanted them to have their own bedrooms. We've got the great loft upstairs, they've got a bathroom to share, a nice TV room or a playroom. So it's a great area for them to enjoy as they get older.
It's a fascinating life with parents who own a film production company and build houses.
Hi, Sienna.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
What is your favorite thing to do in this home?
Reading.
Oh, what are you reading?
The story of Puppy Seed.
Oh, let's see. Cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
That was one of my books when I was growing up.
Oh, crazy, that's cool.
And so is this entire lifestyle to visiting guests who Greg and Trish regularly entertain here. For the couple's Australian architect, Rowan Young, the chance to work on projects like this is why he moved to Cape Town over 20 years ago.
Now, Rowan, I've already seen the house, but I'd love to hear more about the distinct pavilion design of this home.
When we design our houses, we often look to the traditional Cape barn as an influence, and then we use a contemporary interpretation of that. So what you're seeing here is a selection or a series of pavilions, glass pavilions, that sit nestled in amongst the landscape.
How did you design the house while being mindful of all the natural vegetation?
Yeah, there's a lot of natural fynbos coming down the side of the mountain here, and you know, during the build that was cordoned off, and the natural fynbos and even the existing beautiful rocks were sort of protected, if you like, so that those could be a feature of the house, and we wanted to pull as much of that into the house as we could.
Is all the stonework in this home a tribute to the fact that we are right on a mountainside?
There was a lot of stone that came out of this site, and you know, the challenge during the build was to manipulate that stone and then to look at how it could be used. And Greg and Tricia sort of were, you know, very supportive in the idea of bringing a natural element, and you know, those devices bring a sort of human scale back into, you know, the sort of very slick finish of a contemporary house.
Homeowners often take a lot of pride in their houses, but for you two specifically, this one must come with a very special sense of accomplishment.
There are many layers to that question. Obviously, we would like to build our dream home, and it offers a lifestyle that we've always imagined. But for a lot of people, this is their nest egg, and to be able to create something that is unique, that is special, that they can grow up, raise a family in, and still know that they have an investment. I think the Cape in particular has an opportunity for people to really craft and create a lifestyle that is world-class and unsurpassed. I mean, I travel in my profession, and I always come home saying, I cannot replace this anywhere in the world. And for me, that means that this is my home, and I feel proud of that.
Well, I've had an incredible chance to view your home, but there's one more thing I really have to do.
What a place to grow up or happily grow old in. Greg and Tricia boldly decided to deconstruct traditional home design, and they're reaping the rewards. Next up, Tumelo and Celeste Matsose find lifestyle and investment opportunities in horse racing.
Tumelo and Celeste Matsose have achieved and faced hard times together. These high school sweethearts beat learning disability and other obstacles to triumph in business, and are now partners in an epic new restaurant with thoroughbred horse racing as their theme.
Tumelo's entrepreneurial skill was learned from his mother and his late aunt. This used to be a clubhouse where jockeys came for breakfast until the young visionary and his wife, Celeste, envisioned what it could be.
You invested in what was known as the Rankiesfontein Training Center, and you've turned it into this amazing venue. Why did you decide to invest in a race course?
I think it's a simple answer that this is such a beautiful space, nestled in the country here, right in the middle of Sandton and Pretoria. With us brewing one of the award-winning beers, we really wanted to be a setting that was welcoming to families and to eventing. And we have beautiful horses that are out there. So what we've done is really take this open space, started a restaurant that has amazing food and great service.
Tumelo and the Racehorse Association are getting young professionals interested in making shared, syndicated investments in horses.
These horses are massive, but this place is even bigger. How many horses can it hold?
So Rankiesfontein Stabling Centre can hold over 1,000 horses. We're fortunate enough to have many top trainers in our centre, so a lot of the top horses are here. So in a lot of the main feature races around the country, you see a lot of the horses that are competing are from our centre, and I think that's a great attribute to the calibre of the centre that we are able to train in.
These horses earn returns for their investors by winning races and breeding new champions.
The most expensive horse is valued at 28 million rand. What makes these horses so special?
From a training aspect and a horseman aspect, I think the fact that they just give you their all, and you're asking so much of them and they continually try harder makes them extremely special. The value for the stakes that they're racing for and the prestigiousness and the heritage that goes behind South African horse racing, I think is also a determination or a factor as why they're such special creatures to work with.
The breakfast which these young champions are served is 5-star fare.
For a young horse, you would want to feed them something that's higher in protein. Yeah, you can take it and smell it. You might want to eat it after you smell it. It smells really good.
It's like muesli.
It does, it smells good, eh?
After 9 years in corporate, Celeste started in events and found her ideal collaborator in her husband.
People say that you shouldn't work with friends or family, but you're not only business partners, you're also a husband and wife. How does this affect your working relationship and your business ethic?
I think let's not get it confused. I mean, there is definitely a boss and those that work for her. She is the boss and I follow. I know my place, I need to do what needs to be done, and she delivers. So everybody, as long as the roles and responsibilities are set, I think anybody can work in that unit, as long as you know where you fit in within that structure. Right, love?
Yes. I think what makes us good is that we have different ways of being. Tumelo is the conceptual one. He comes up with the ideas. I implement. So as long as we abide by those things, we work very well together. So it works.
This is one of 2 privately run horse racing courses. Where did your love for horse racing come from?
I had no interaction with any horses, and while speaking to the Racing Association, they said, listen, try and get young guys like yourself to get interested in horses. It's a beautiful industry. It's great for networking and just widening your scope and meeting different people. So as my experience has been growing, I mean, I'm really 1 year in, and the love for horses has actually grown.
The home Celeste and Tumelo live in with their 4 children is made for entertaining. The interior decor is mostly her work, though her husband did contribute one signature piece.
The first thing that caught my eye when I walked in was this very exotic aquarium.
Yes, I think this is my baby. It was just a normal freshwater tank. It's a marine tank now. I'm extremely allergic to shellfish. Got marks on me from them stinging me. When I first said I want to do in a marine tank, she said, first of all, I don't commit to projects and finish them. Secondly, I won't be able to put this thing together. And I literally, board by board, got a carpenter, got the guys for the tank, and we put it together. And yeah, it's actually one of my most favorite things to do is just to stare at this thing overnight.
Our family jokes that that's actually his first wife.
And it fits in so well with the monochromatic deco that you've got going on here. Is that the theme for the home?
Yes, I think when we bought this house, it was very modern on the inside, but kind of classic on the outside. So that's what we tried to go with when we went with the decor. So we kept everything very modern, very neutral grays, whites and blacks. But the wood is to bring out that classical element, make it a bit more homely, a bit more warm. We're quite simple. So we like simplicity, clean, very minimalistic. So we love this lounge, I think, the most. We decided to go with something a little bit more formal. And this painting over here has a lot of significance to us in terms of our family and in terms of what it means.
The spirit animal of our clan is Ditlo. You know, we are the desert people that know where to find water. We're nurturers and leaders, you know. And so when we saw this, we thought it was really befitting to represent our family in this home, because everything is really minimalistic. There's nothing up except this beautiful painting, which represents our family.
As the resident Shisanyama king, Tumelo holds court between the kitchen and braai.
This is actually one of my favorite spots. I'm a man of the pots, get to spend a lot of time with family, and it leads out obviously into the outside, which is where I really enjoy spending my time and place.
It really shows that you're happy living in this home and most likely also happy living in the estate.
Safety for me first, so the place is just free. You know, we have open spaces, the children come home, they're out in the streets, they're playing together.
Yes, we love this estate. I think it's something different that it has to offer, that it has a dam where you can fish, it has hiking trails and bicycle trails. So we're very happy here, and it's country in the middle of the city, which seems to be our ethos.
With an upcoming reality show about their journey together, the Matsoses hope to excite a new generation of entrepreneurs.
Your love story sounds like it's always been so beautiful, but your childhood wasn't that easy. Tumelo, you were diagnosed with dyslexia, and now you've gone on to be a successful entrepreneur with the MBA and so much. How do you achieve it all?
A complete surprise to me as well, by the way. But I wasn't diagnosed for a long time, struggled with a lot of things. I was then diagnosed, I started treating myself. My wife has helped me along the way, and it's been a hard mile. You dedicate yourself to something long enough, and you come out on the other side. I think that's the long and short of that story.
And Harvard, how did that happen?
So, while doing well at the Gibbs MBA, completing there, a few students were selected to go out into Bentley University, which hosted us. And the management side was done by Harvard University, and the technical side was at MIT. So we got to, I physically have sat in a classroom at Harvard. I physically have sat in a classroom at MIT. So technically, I've gone to Ivy League schools.
Spending time with you guys, it's so clear that you are the definition of what it is to be a power couple. Where did your love story start?
So our love story started 20 years ago, actually, this year, when we met at Foy's High School. And we've been together now for 18 years, and it's been an amazing ride. We've seen each other through teenagers into young adults, into older adults, into parents, and now into a whole new way of doing business. So yeah, I think we've grown together, and it keeps us strong, and it keeps us grounded, and it keeps us looking at each other.
Well, spending time with you, I clearly feel more inspired. Thank you so much for allowing me into your homes, into your hearts, into your family, and into this beautiful journey that you're on. All the best.
Cheers. Thank you, Mommy.
When they bet on each other, these two clearly knew what they were doing.
Successful by any measure of the word, Tumelo and Celeste still believe and teach their children each day that character and values are more important than money. Respect.
Coming up, one wedding, 3 gorgeous dresses, and Samsung launched the new Galaxy S10.
This week, we bring you the wedding of a Joburg couple who could think of no place they'd rather say their vows than in the city which brought them together. Madoda Hlophe and Relebogile Lelala are high-flying citizens of the world whose hearts belong to Josie.
Rile and Madoda live, work and play between Melrose, Sandton and Rosebank, so there was always a fair chance they'd bump into each other.
It was the 26th of October in 2014. We decided with my friends to go out for dinner, and he walked in.
What attracted me to her, she stood out of the crowd. I walked right straight to her. I asked her for a number. She said, "Go away." But I refused to go away. But what was so interesting, a song played. I remember a song by John Legend, and I asked her to dance with me. And she stood up and she danced with me. And the rest was history.
After dating for 6 months, lobola negotiations began, and they were traditionally wed in 2017.
Being the best man today, I mean, when Stanley asked me, I was very honored, obviously, but I take it a little bit seriously. So I will be there throughout this journey with them.
The bride grew up with 3 brothers and her father, Mr. Hyde Lelala, who she adores. The bar was set high for any suitors.
The qualities I love about Madoda is that he's a family-orientated man. He's caring, loving, and he always shows so much care for me.
She's a very interesting woman. All she does is study and study and study. Coupled with that, she also works. She's currently doing a master's, and she intends on doing a PhD, so it's very intense. Sometimes it's late evenings, it's early meetings. We both understand what we're doing, and we both support each other.
The groom already considers himself blessed to have met a woman of such tenacity, who plans to enroll towards her PhD in leadership, is an awesome cook, and shares his passion for architecture and property. Coordinator Glory Masepe gave us an insight into their style.
Rele and Madoda, they wanted something elegant, simple. They loved roses. They said, you know what, we need more roses, we need elegancy, and the details of the whole thing. The background, as you can see, it's all been designed for, especially for this day for them.
They worked hard for this party. Having a doctor, pilot, and accountant for brothers, it's unsurprising that Rile is so driven. Her husband is co-founder of a financial services firm, and while the couple aim to make their own luck, Moira Mabuza also sees fortune smiling on them.
African culture, when it rains, when it showers during the wedding, it's many more blessings. So I believe that these two were made to be, and I wish them all the best and a good life together.
I think the highlight is, the beautiful venue, the beautiful couple, everything just flows. So for me, I think just the day, the love, everything just made sense.
It's a lovely wedding. It's a lovely wedding. We really enjoy it, especially the atmosphere. And I wish them happiness and togetherness going forward.
Today was just a highlight of 2 people coming together, loving each other and celebrating their beautiful love with their friends and family. It has been so beautiful. The music, the food, the company, it has been the highlight truly of today. And seeing 2 people come together and committing their lives to each other, it doesn't get better than that.
Married in a lace modern classic, Rile changed to a Diamante mermaid-style number for dancing, then cut an elegant silhouette in dusty pink to dance with her goddaughter, Myang Mabusela.
All the dresses were so beautiful. The first dress, the second dress, and the third dress. I don't know how to explain it, but the first dress, it was like a princess dress.
This dress just blew my mind away, like completely. Like, friend, I am so happy for you. You deserve it. You are a good person, and I love you so much.
Any guests who are part of this select group of friends are considered family by the Hlophes.
It's been an awesome wedding of joy, celebration, and laughter. The moment of my life today was seeing my wife walking down, beautiful as ever. That moment will stay in my mind for a very, very long time to come.
Seeing him crying, it was amazing. And the speeches, the love, the words we received, from our friends, our families, that was beautiful for me.
Between Rile studying and Madoda growing his company, they're also planning their own family.
Now, to celebrate and launch the new Galaxy S10 range, Samsung South Africa invited us to their Glitz and Glam Unpacked that took place this past Wednesday, where the Next Generation Galaxy was unveiled.
The electricity in the Sandton air wasn't the weather. It was the city's anticipation of a Galaxy S10 range of groundbreaking innovations in display, camera, and performance. Samsung Head of Mobile, Justin Hume.
Well, this is the star of the show tonight. It's all about the S10. What are some of the standout features?
this is the star of the show, and in fact it's not one star of the show, it's three.
Yeah.
We're bringing three S10s into the range effectively. Okay. This is what we call the Galaxy S10 and the S10 Plus.
It's a beautiful phone, eh?
It is an incredible phone. The first thing that will strike you is the design and the screen. It is edge-to-edge, wall-to-wall screen, so that we're maximizing the visual retail estate. We're taking it a step further just from the design and aesthetic perspective.
The new pro-grade AI camera technology features an ultra-wide lens and super steady and high-quality video recording.
We have Bixby, which is our artificial intelligence engine on board. Now Bixby, I'm literally able to take the camera, point it at, let's say, your shirt that I'm looking at here. Bixby will pop up and give me different options from a number of online retailers, and like going, listen, you can buy the shirt at this price, I can go here and do the like. It can tell me what the vicinity that I'm in, what are the different coffee shops that might be around. The phones don't live in isolation these days. So we have other wearable devices such as our new Galaxy Watch Active and the like. There's incredible technology, but they all run off batteries. So what I'm able to do is I'm able to take my watch and I can do power sharing. So literally onto the back of the phone, as I tap it there, the phone will charge the watch very efficiently, very quickly, and it can give me that little boost that I might just need on my wearable device. So whether it's the watch, whether I'm looking at my Galaxy Buds that I just put on top of the handset, power sharing done.
I need a break from all of this. It feels like my head's about to explode. I can't take any more.
If you're in any kind of media, the Galaxy S10 even offers composition recommendations, so you can frame a 3-shot better than ever.
What do you guys think, man? The technology on this phone is insane, right?
I mean, especially when they started off saying that, where the world thought that everything that's been done in a smartphone has already been done, there's no more innovation that can come around. And so you ask yourself, what can they possibly do? I think this device for content creators is going to be absolutely incredible. The ability it has to shoot super steady video of incredible quality, the editing features. I think content creators are going to be super happy with this.
That, and of course the wireless charger built into that phone. I think that is impressive. I just find it all a bit overwhelming, all this technology, man, because when I got my first phone, I was 22 years old. I could send a message and play Snake and I was happy, man. That's all I wanted to do. All this stuff, Jonathan, you got to move with the times, bro. Your favorite features on the new phone?
Obviously, I saw some amazing things that the camera is going to be doing. And of course, that fold phone, man. We need to talk about that phone. That phone is amazing. So, Samsung has really outdone themselves.
You know what I love about it? It's that a lot of it is based on how we use it. So all these guys that are making cool gadgets are looking at how we use their gadgets and they think of the next way to develop the next best thing for us, because it's based on how we use it. One of the key things is connecting with other people. And for as long as that exists in technology, we will always be, as a human race, somehow grounded.
Guests were loving the Galaxy S10's world-first dynamic AMOLED display with vivid digital content and a wider range of colors.
So this is actually not just an outstanding phone, but it also makes the user outstanding. This is canary yellow, which is quite awesome, standing out color, which is good for celebrities like you. Then we have the awesome Prism Black, which also, for the first time, we have a black that really stands out. And this is good for our 10th year anniversary at Samsung. Over and above that, we have our Prism White. And actually with this Prism White and Prism Black technology, it is actually the splitting of the color that makes it very unique. Because one angle you will see that is changing into multiple colors or other effects of colors.
Both front and rear cameras shoot up to UHD quality, impressing Madoda and Hlophe.
It looks good on you.
Yes, it does. It sure does. And I make it look good too, don't I? Once you go Samsung, you never go back. I've been part of the evolution process of the phone as it's been part of the evolution process of my life and my career. It's literally like a life partner.
Each time you think they're just gonna reach this cap of like there's really nothing else they can really think of, surely, and then they step it up another level, and we saw that again tonight with a few new phones, and I'm still scratching my head over that Galaxy Fold.
Yeah, man. But listen, you always look so good in your pictures. Is it because of the Galaxy camera?
You know what? It really is all the camera. The camera can do some. It really works its magic, and it somehow makes you look good.
Please teach me how to take the ultimate picture.
With this phone, everyone can look as good as Candice Modisele.
So, as a content creator such as yourself, what are the three most essential features that are essential in a phone like this?
The three most essential features are having harmony in like all her selfies.
Oh.
I think, like, look at that, girl. Tell him, show him. Where's the fire? Where's the heat? Come on,
It's right
somebody.
in the center. Oh, what's a cat? Apparently it's a cat that we need to do.
No, but it's a cool cat. It's a cool cat. Just like a meow, sexy.
Okay.
I just look creepy.
The Galaxy S10, S10 Plus, and S10e will be available in stores and online from the 8th of March.
Here's to the Next Generation Galaxy Unrivaled. Congratulations again on a decade of excellence. Samsung, allowing one to do what you can't. To everyone watching, thank you for joining us. And until next week, good night and God bless.
The best of the good life continues next week as a London house designed by Belito Bay's Christian Bentz wins the Best Living Space UK. Live electro band Good Luck open a brand new studio. Plus fashion duo Cuteria and George started designing at the kitchen table. And today they dress Beyonce.